computer set up here so that I can see what's going on there. And you all can communicate with me via chat. Maybe I should turn down the computer volume so that it's not causing issues there. All right. And of course, it's going the wrong direction. There we go. All right. Is that better? Seems like it. Okay. Hey, baby kisses. Good to see you again. This shouldn't be too involved. At least I'm hoping not. I'm just going to take this back rail off and put the new one on. So you can kind of see from the front rail, it's got this black piece on both sides. And the existing back rail does not have the black piece, or right here, the black piece is only on the bottom side and not on the top. So I ordered a new one months ago, I think, and it finally arrived today. So I thought, hey, why not put it on? Because the alternative was like building my little kiln and putting all of my cherry wood away. But why would I do that? Anyway, all right. So I'll just get started by removing the, and let's see, what do I need to do to take this part off? Okay. You can all watch me struggle through removing all this. Okay, so I think I need to just take this off of here. If I just remove this, then I think this should come off relatively easily, both front and back. And that should give me access to the other. So I'm going to take an Allen wrench. Without having my workbench that accessible, hopefully I can find the right tools that I need. Uh-oh. ¿Qué estoy haciendo? Estoy tratando de cambiar eso. Tengo el nuevo del back rail. No sé cómo se dice en español. You know, so I want to put the new rail on in lieu of the old rail. So first I need to get access to it. So let's see if this happens to be the right size Allen wrench. Doesn't look like it. So let's see if that one is. That one. Oh, lucky me. That is the right one. So do the same thing on the other side here. This is the same size Allen wrench that I was using for some of the bandsaw activity on the live the other night. I just store it in a little magnetic tray with the bandsaw, so that way I never have to search for it. But there we go. Success. And then I keep dropping things. All right. So now that we got that off, you know what, I think I might have to take the screws out of this and then remove this piece after I've got this off of the table saw. All right, let's see. Baby, let's see. The Amish will leave a space stack 2 in a row, then spray them when it's hot. You dry slowly. Oh, you're talking about the cherry wood? Yeah, I should do something with it. And just turned into I had a hard laying on the lathe. Thanks, chair. Okay. I'm gonna mess with mine. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what we're doing, right? All right. And all right, so I need a screwdriver. Hopefully I've got one accessible. So I'm sitting on an old office chair that it's a little wonky, which is why it's in the shop now instead of in an office. But it's relatively comfortable and makes it so that I don't have to be leaning over. I'm really good with a screwdriver. And one screw removed. You know what? I think I'm going to put the brakes on. I put braking casters on this. I've actually got a video about how I built this table saw cart, but including the part about the casters with the brakes on them. So I just engaged a couple of the brakes. Hopefully that'll make it so it doesn't wander away on me as I go. Okay. All right, so 3 screws removed. I'm guessing there's another one hanging on over here. Yep. Hey, we are almost to pay dirt here. And by pay dirt, I mean, I don't know. Where does that term even originate? Does anyone know where pay dirt comes from? Hey, got it. 4th screw removed. Now, just slide that off. You can see this is presumably the original, right? So it's got this black plasticky deal on there on the one side, but then on the top side, it was missing. And that can be not so good because basically this part squeezes on to that. And so if you're missing either the top or the bottom, then it doesn't lock in as well. And so you're not getting as good a cut. So I first noticed this a while ago. I think I talked about it on an earlier video, and ordered the part, and it just barely arrived today. I ordered this months ago, and it was back ordered, so it finally got delivered. So let's see. Now I have to remember which direction it was pointing out. It was pointing out like that, right? And I've got 2 sets of holes there. I only remember seeing one. It looks like this lower one is the one that's being used, and I want to make sure to go with whatever is being used on both sides so that it's even. I wonder if the one side's even usable. Oh wow, looks like I'm missing a lot of commentary here. Lincoln Logs. All right, remove the back. Best shots. Oh yeah, maybe I should. Oh, you haven't been on one of my lives before? Hey, clowning is the best, man. Yeah, late night is great. Pay dirt. Right kind of dirt that is dark and conducive to finding gold. Okay. Yeah, learn something new every day. Did you know that already, or did you just Google it? Let's see if that will accept a screw. That will. See if this will. Yep, looks like they're both threaded. So I am little Butterfingers going on tonight. And of course it fell where I can't see it at the moment. And There it is. It fell in the crack between the concrete slabs. All right. So which of those must it be? If I set it on there, I think it's probably that one because of the, looks like there's some residue from before. And it looks like that gives me makes it even with the other side too. So I'm going to move forward assuming that that is correct. No, knew that from your family. Okay. They had land, lose their minds. They would lose their minds if they saw pay dirt. Is that what you're saying? Or lose their minds if they saw something else? Lose their minds if they saw you on my live video? And all right, let's see if I can get this going. All right, I think I've got that. All right, on to the, oh wait, I don't want to put that on all the way yet because I need to put this guy back on, because otherwise if I don't put this on first, this little end right there, right here, will catch on this part right here. So I need to make sure to put it on before I do that. Will it go on though? Everything's falling down. I'm actually going to remove this so it'll be easier for me to mess around with, because maybe it does not like that this has both sides to it. All right. So it looks like that's the only difference between the two. Maybe they removed that piece on purpose because this was not sized properly. There we go. Got it. All right. That should work. All right. Now I need to make sure that this is pointing down. Otherwise, it's not going to do me much good if that's up there. And I'll see if I can get this guy started to thread in there again. Apparently not. There we go. All right. Get him started. And then I just want to get access to this other screw before I tighten everything down too much. And your guide, my guide or Mike's guide or someone else's guide. I'm not sure which guide we're talking about. If I have a guide, I'm probably not paying attention to it. All right, that's feeling pretty tight, which is probably good and bad. All right, so that's on pretty securely. There we go. And get this guy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to put him on the screwdriver to get him going. And hey, Vineyard, how's it going? Good to see you again. Let's see if I can get this screw going in there. Well, didn't want to go in there. Let's see if it'll go in here. Maybe I need to loosen the other ones up a little bit to make sure that actually I think these holes are lined up exactly where these ones are. So maybe maybe those holes are machined in the wrong place. Or maybe I have this upside down. Maybe I need to flip it. So let me get a ruler. Just see. So we're just about 7 inches from one hole to the other on this side. And man, something catching. Okay, but I can still see where that might be just as far as it'll go. So, all right, and it's about 7.5 inches there. So maybe I do just need to flip this guy over, and maybe then it'll match up with the machined holes. You know, because why would I look at the machined holes before I start putting it in? You know, you got to wait until after you've put in a couple of screws. That's the time to look at how it's supposed to be positioned. Am I right? Really, I did that on purpose so that I could point out that it needs to go a particular way, right? You all buy that, right? All right. So now remove it, flip it. See if I can get it to go back in. It doesn't want to there. Let's see if I can coax it. Well, all right, let's see what it does here. All right, so if I line that up there, okay, so that's how it's supposed to go, which means this has to go this way because this needs to point down and hook up with the rack and pinion system. This side did not want to go in there. In fact, it doesn't. Yeah, that does not seem to want to go in at all. I'm going to try it from the other end. See if I can get it started here. So I got it to go in the other direction, which was apparently the wrong direction. But does not want to go in this way. And like you can see, if I put it in that way, that's just not going to work, right? But if I put it in this way, how I had it before, it will work. So to me, it has to go in this way. There isn't another way to do it to make it fit. But I think the holes are just in the wrong place for that. So if that's the case, which it is, figure I've got a couple options. I can put it into the two holes that it will accept and leave it be, or I could drill new holes in here where the holes are supposed to be, I think, and that could make for a more entertaining live, especially if I screw it up. What do you guys think I should do? Just put in the screws, or drill new holes so that it'll go into the whole thing? Oh wow, looks like I've missed a lot of commentary here. Let's see here. All right, so Vineyard, good to see you. That rail isn't in its regular position. Something is off. Your miter slots. not have an opening for the, I mean, these are, so this would go here. The miter slots are right here. So they're open. This is the back rail. So maybe I'm not understanding your question. Maybe it's beneath. Yeah, it's definitely beneath. Here, let me show you a bit of a close up here. So there's the miter slot, and here's the deal. And then you can see where that hole is. I'm putting it in the lower hole. There's the two holes on the table. I'm putting this into the lower hole. And so right there. And so, there's plenty of room for the miter slot. All right. And does that give you a decent view? Okay. Maybe it's beneath. Yeah, maybe your eyes, ghost. Yeah. And the screw size. Right. Hey, Robert G. Good to see you again. Let's see. Yeah. Hercules miter. Oh, you messed up your miter. That's no fun. Little piece of metal. Yeah. So hopefully it's just the blade that you damaged and not the actual miter saw too. Because if you damage the miter saw as well as the blade, that's going to cost a lot more. And if it's just the blade that came with the saw, it might not really be that great anyway. So, probably not a bad idea to get a new blade for it either way. Yard trees. Okay. All right. So, all right. I don't see any comments yet on what you guys think I should do. So I will reiterate. I can put a screw in here and here on these two locations, and then I can just leave it be, or I can also drill spots where I think these ones are supposed to go as well, because these ones don't match up. And if I reverse this, it won't go into here. Because, let me just double check that. I mean, I tried it a couple times, but yeah, and I think this, it's offset a little bit. It looks like there's a little bit more room on this side of these metal rail things than there is on this side. So that's why this will only go in one direction and not the other. So even when I try, I mean, I'm strong, but I don't want to break it. So I could make it work, I'm sure. And then this has to go down. So yeah. So what do you think? Should I worry about securing it to these middle screws and drill new holes, or not worry about it and assume that the two outer screws are going to be enough to hold it in place? Or put in the two for now, and then if I notice a problem later, go back and pull it all out and drill the holes later. So I'm seeing those as my options at the moment. Okay, they actually come with a nice. Okay, good. Glad they came with a nice blade. Sorry to hear that you've destroyed that blade. Let's see. My feed was showing as frozen because apparently I touched the screen and it paused it. So I was like, why is the camera not working anymore? Okay, yeah. So sorry the blade's gone, even though it was a good one. And all right, if it were you would drill in and tap where it worked best for you. Yeah, but you're always tapping things, right? All right. Let's see if the holes didn't work. I can live with 2 extra holes I added. Yeah, aluminum bends easily in factories. Um, Baby, are you saying it bends easy, so I should secure it more because it'll probably bend easily here? Or are you suggesting I just bend it for fun? Or maybe something else? From the high desert. I don't know if I've seen you on live before. Good, welcome. Where are you from? And do you have an opinion on whether or not I should put some new holes into this back rail? Because these holes, if I secure it to the outside, those ones seem to work just fine. But these middle holes do not line up. So should I just use the outside holes, or should I drill new holes into the aluminum and secure it in the middle as well as on the outside? You be the judge. Or if we go by the old NFL deals, you make the call. Think it might have warped. You're thinking that she thinks that it might have warped. Okay, it may have been the factory. It was DC. That's right. Okay. You from BV. I'm from Georgia. Is that your fence for your table saw? Yeah, you're talking about on the workbench back here? So this is the back rail for the table saw. So the original rail, as I mentioned earlier, I got it used, and the black piece that was supposed to be on both sides of the back rail, it was only on one side. And so that makes it so that as you're sliding it, it doesn't lock in as securely, and so your cut isn't as accurate. So I ordered this months ago, and it finally arrived today. This is the fence back here. Had to remove it to get the back rail off. So it just connects in and uses the rack and pinion system that you can see on right here and here. That's one of the big reasons that I selected the DeWalt over the other table saw options out there, is so that it had the rack and pinion. So that way I wouldn't have to fuss with having to make sure that the fence is parallel to the blade all the time. Set it, and then just trust that the rack and pinion system is working right until it proves to me that it's not. So anyway, and then I also did a little video about adding the auxiliary fence here, because the fence that came with it when I got it used was, well, it had a gouge in it. I'm not going to worry about taking that off. If you really want to see the gouge in the fence, you can watch the prior video. But it's one of my first videos, if not my first video. Not a particularly great video. No editing, just shot it straight. So good stuff. All right, Robert, you would drill, okay. Rack and pinion is way to, yeah, Delta. Yeah, Delta makes some good stuff. If it were you, Mike, knowing that, I think that makes me more want to drill, because I want to be like Mike. All right, let me get out the drill press, and actually let me pick this up. So let me go rearrange here a little bit. Get the drill press out. Get power to the drill press. And got to move the bandsaw out of the way. I was doing a bunch of cleaning in the shop earlier. Moved everything around. So I've got pretty much everything on wheels. So it just makes it a lot easier to maneuver everything. Even this, I've actually got the phone camera on my router table that is also on wheels. I don't have the video up yet on making this router table. I made it sort of out of, well, it was inspired by Stumpy Nub's design that he did a while ago for just a portable drill press. And then I picked this guy up not too long ago for pretty cheap. And it says 175 on the label here and here. That's not what I paid for it. As you can probably see just from how it looks. But let me find some drill bits here that can go through the aluminum and that are appropriately sized. So picked these guys up not too long ago. So I'm just gonna check to see what size will go through the holes here. And not too much bigger than that. Or which sides will not go through the hole all the way at least, so that I know they're will be wide enough to get those screws through. All right, I'm going to go with that guy. All right. And oh yeah, I've got the key there, and I need to hook up power still. So I think this is the extension cord I'll use. I'm planning to move this drill press somewhere else in the shop that maybe has a little bit easier access to power, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. So maybe it's because I'm lazy. Maybe it's for some other reason. And let's see. And okay, I'm behind on the chat here. Let me see what I've missed before I start drilling. Where are you from, buddy? If you're asking me as the buddy, then I am in Idaho, near Boise. Grew up in Boise and now live next door in Meridian. T-square fence. I don't know that I'm familiar with the T-square. I'll have to check that out. Pull the fence into the racks, make them sink, drill where it okay. All right. And rails on, put the fence on, match it up and drill. Yeah, that's maybe not a bad way to go. I guess my concern there is that if I drill too deep, that I'm going to ruin the threads on the table saw table where I need to screw it into. So that's why I wouldn't want to try doing it right on the as it's installed. Is that what you're saying, Mike? Or maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're suggesting. And okay, the delta, okay, wheels. Wheels are ridiculously priced. I'm not going to disagree, even though I'm not exactly sure what we're talking about on that. Weight Pilata, do you have a caliper? I do have a caliper. Check it for level. Check the drill press for level, or check something else for level. Make sure it writes parallel. And please see this. Yeah, I see you. I see you. Lay it down to get a constant level mark. Taps and drill, but go in increments. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but check the position of the holes you drill to be level to the table. So the holes I'm drilling, maybe I'm misunderstanding what you guys are saying. So I'm drilling into this guy. I'm not drilling into the table. And so I just need to move the hole over a little bit to this side and a little bit to that side. So I'm just anticipating that I want it to be in line with these holes that are already drilled. Am I missing something? And if so, please let me know, because I don't want to screw something else here. I don't want to screw something up. Check the position of the holes you drill to be level to the table. Okay. Run with screws to match and mark with something from the backside of holes. Okay. That's not a bad idea. The drill should be level to the table. Did Johnny minimum race drilled something off? Track. You attach to the existing. Okay. And it's off. Okay. I think I understand what you're saying. So make sure it's parallel. Okay. I think I'm still not catching the vision. So you want me to make sure it's parallel, meaning that this is parallel to the table, that the hole that I drill is parallel to the table, or maybe something else. I'm parallel in depth. So, I mean, I need to go all the way through. Otherwise, the screw's not going to go all the way through. Is that what you're meaning by depth, or something else? It's the right depth to make sure the rail is parallel to the table. Depth in the rail, meaning the height. Okay. So, all right. Let me come back over, which I will disconnect the extension cord here so that I can roll my thing back over, and then you can see what I'm doing and tell me where I'm going wrong, because almost guaranteed that I'll be going wrong. Plus, you're getting a little mini shop tour here. I've got a shop tour video, but actually a couple of them. I think that was the first live that I did was a shop tour. All right, so now okay, because that is the way that it has to go. That's the way that it's machined, but really this is the way that it needs to go on. And you know what? I guess I have another concern now that you're talking about being parallel, because maybe they screwed it up at the factory, and because, yeah, it seems like this is how it should be, because if I put it on like this, it's actually sticking out a little bit here. So that's where it would line up there. So really, I probably need to drill all new holes. And so then it would end up like this. But doing that means that I can't screw this guy in before I drill things. Am I misunderstanding? If so, speak now or forever hold your peace. Let me check out the feed here. Far left end is X from the edge. Nice. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Desert. About the nice shop. Match up with old rail to mark. Yes, I take the track and drill pilot. Okay. Okay. So here's the yeah, here's my concern is if they've completely screwed this up at the factory, then maybe, you know, maybe this is going wrong. Let me look at the other side here and just see. So I'll just mirror this one. So yeah, so this has this little extrusion right here. So you can see this little part that comes out further. On the front side, it's on the bottom, and the no extrusion part is on top. So I want to mirror that over here, and I want it to be in line like that. Except that is wrong direction. No wonder it's matching up. Let me just make sure. Look over here again. Yeah. So I want it. Yeah, I had it turned this way. So I was like, oh, it matches up perfectly that way. Like, oh, that's probably how they screwed it up at the factory, is they had it turned the wrong direction when they drilled the holes. So I need it going this direction. And yeah. All right. So I've got plenty of tape, good old painter's tape. Buried under everything back there. So let me take some tape along here. All right. So I've got that to the edges. And all right. And let's see. This is probably going to be more stable like that, but it's not going to be as visible that way. And let me make sure that I'm lining it up the right way. So extrusion on the bottom. All right. So let me just put it like this for now. All right, so I'm going to need holes there, 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 and there. And all right. So I'm just going to put tape like that so that it lines up lengthwise. So now I need to put a hole here, 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 and here. And I think I'm going to have, it's going to be safer for me to put this side down on the drill press table rather than this side, because on this side it'll probably rock a lot and cause me some issues. So I'll put it down here. I don't really have any more room than just between these little rails to make that hole. So let me come back over to the drill press. And, oh, you know what? Let me make this easier on myself. And instead of moving the whole router table, I'll just move the camera on the router table. There we go. And actually, that doesn't give you that great of a shot because I'll be blocking the view when I'm at the drill press. Okay. Sometimes I can figure things out. Other times, I need a lot of help, like with this. Appreciate you guys speaking up before I started cutting. But I'm also really upset that you didn't just say, hey, just put in the 2 holes and call it good, because I could have just made it work that way. Sometimes that's how I roll. I know what I'm doing. Oh, I'm glad somebody thinks that I know what I'm doing. All right. They send you 2 fronts. No, they didn't. They only sent me the back rail. Well, they might have sent me the front rail. Maybe that's the problem. Yeah, maybe they sent me the front rail instead of the back rail. The front rail should be fine. I'm not replacing the front rail. Put the fence on. Okay, let's see. Are they different? Yeah, it captures in both ways. It captures the rail both. Yeah, I think you might be right. I think they probably did send me the front rail instead of the back rail, and maybe that's why the holes are in the wrong spot. Andale, que verdad. Gracias, Mike. I appreciate the confidence boost. Put the fence on like it's attached to be sure. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, Phil. Good to see you. Let's see. Oh, crap. Just removed my my chat. There we go. And okay. Let's see. It's not. Yeah. The chat isn't like letting me mess with it how I want. So, all right. You think I should test it before I drill? Why would I do that? That doesn't sound like any fun. All right. So much work for. I thought this was going to be such a quick little live. I was like, is it even worth going live? No one's. You know, by the time I get it done, no one will have joined the live yet. But that is not the case. So place that over there. Hopefully I don't lose it. All right. So see, now I have to remove the tape that I put on so beautifully. And all right, so try and slide this guy back on in the proper way. All right. And then this guy fits on like that, give or take, but I won't be able to lock him in until we got the fence. All right, so then I need to screw the fence on right there, and that requires the screw that I just tossed over here, I think. No, that's not the right one. Which is the right one? All right, those two go to the other deal. Oh no, this is the right one. There we go. I think. So, so he's. Was that the 5th thing I've dropped? Oh, I probably lost count. All right, so that's what he looks like. So I just have to slide the nut onto the, through this little opening here and allow the washer to through, unless this is not the right one. No, I think this is not the right one. I think it's one of these. 6. For all those of you playing a drinking game at home, make sure you take another drink. And the nut comes off as I start trying to put it in. All right, let's see if that'll work. There we go. Okay, and all right, and let me track down the Allen wrench again. All right, and rest that one over there. Rest this one here. And what do you guys think? I'll just screw this one in a little bit so that we can see that, yes, this will actually work. Maybe, Mike, this is what you were saying way before, that I should test it, make sure it's level before I start drilling things. So you may be able to see that as it is right now, it's protruding here. And on the other side, it's short. Whereas on the original front side, it's flush with the table. I don't know if you didn't really show. Yeah, so here it is, flush with the end of the table, pretty much. Not quite flush, but a lot closer to flush than this is. So maybe that's what you were trying to tell me before, and I was not smart enough to understand. But that's understandable because, Mike, you're pretty much the smartest guy you know. At least that's what I heard on a prior live. All right. Like this, put the rail on the fence, hold it there. It's all saying cool people here. Yeah, so true. Chingada. I'm not familiar with that word. Have to educate me. Baby Kiss is still around. Awesome. Fence también. Yep. And yeah, I'm not cool enough to use Viking terminology, so sorry, Bearded. All right, and you are, yeah, Mike, you're definitely the smartest, smarter than me tonight, that's for sure. But yeah. So I'll just put that in, not very tight, but just enough so that I verify that, and rip up the tape. So that seems to work. And then you were saying test for level. I don't know that my floor is level, so testing for level might not be the best, but it's not going to hurt. Damn. Pretty close to spot on. Maybe that's not where you were anticipating that I would check for level, but that's where I checked. So I figure that's the only thing that's tied into both sides. Which probably means that my floor is just that far out of level. Do the mason, okay. The table as well. Yeah, it's a little, the table's a little off, but I don't think that I've got my, here, let me see if I can slide that. Yeah, I've got this guy off a little bit here. So let me lower these, because I usually keep the fence, the auxiliary fence, off the table a little bit so that it doesn't trap sawdust or something like that. So actually, let me just take this guy off entirely. And all of you who were pining to see the original damaged fence can now see the gouge in the fence and why I use the auxiliary. So there it is, presumably from the blade, right? So that guy is just slightly out of level, and the table also just slightly out of level. So I think the rails are probably just fine. Or in other words, I didn't need to go through this exercise. I could have just drilled. Man, you guys are making me work so hard. All right. Let's see. Remove that right screw, move it out and level it out. Drill that way. Right hand screw, remove that. Don't worry about the floor from the fence to the table. Yeah, you're smarter than me. I don't have enough subs to trust me, having subs is no proof of intelligence. Doesn't take too much YouTube viewing to know that number of subscribers and level of intelligence is not necessarily highly correlated. The rail to the bottom, right to the table from one end to the other, same left to right. Yeah. I think it is. I think the table is giving me the same reading as the fence, right? And so I think. But maybe you're saying check on both sides. 7? That's 7 things I've dropped. I'm not very good with numbers, so you guys will have to help me. All right, let me just move that stuff out of the way. All right, and then my table isn't actually level either. That's part of the reason why I built a new table saw sled. So here, showing as pretty close to level. And then if I bring, let's see if it'll let me bring the fence over, or maybe there's something impeding it. What is stopping that from coming over? Is that just the end of the, that's about the second time that I've, yeah. Oh, and then the other thing is I haven't secured the fence over here. So maybe if I secure it over here, we'll find that it's not matching up. And so let me loosen that guy so I can secure it on both sides. Okay. All right, so I've got it on there, I've got it on there. All right, secure this guy down. Secure this guy down. Lock those in, lock those in. All right. Now we'll try testing a little bit more. Okay. Good night, baby kisses, if you're still around. Thanks for joining. Pero puedo trabajo. Yeah. All right, look at the gap of the fence. The table on the left side. All right. Over here. All right, so that's as far as it goes. All right, so gap of the fence to the table on the left side. All right, so I'm not sure if you're talking about this fence or if you were talking about the auxiliary fence that I know did have a pretty sizable gap. Maybe I'm just that far behind. And I was 358 in college, never went to high school. Wow. How did you get into college without any high school? Make sure it's the same on the right. Your channel wouldn't let me sub. Oh, interesting. You know what's going on with that, Mike? Do you have a ban on High Desert? Is that why he can't sub to your site? Are you worried that he's going to be smarter than you are? GED. Okay. Yeah. I would have thought that you'd still have attended some high school, even if you switched to the GED at some point. All right. So let's do check for level here. And just out of level, bring the fence over as far as it'll go. Check full level there. Bring it up. That looks pretty close to me. Does it look different to you guys? And then if I go over to the far extreme here, and ooh, and there's the right one to look at, and take it to there. I mean, that's looking pretty much same to me, but on the phone, I just saw you write, Mike, that you lost connection. So if I'm missing something, I mean, your caliper measure the gap between your fence and the table on the left side. My caliper isn't really that great, so I just got a little Harbor Freight deal. I don't know if I can measure what you're asking me to measure. So the gap between the table and the fence. Measure the gap between the fence and the table on the left side. Sure, it's the same on the right. Okay, so maybe you're talking about right here. Is that what you're saying? That's 0.76 inches. And .79 inches right there. But I wonder if that's in part because of how worn this black substance is on this side, whereas this is brand new. And it looks like feels like it might be a little bit more, there might be a little bit more ribbing going on the edges here. See how that might be? I'm not sure if you can really tell very well there. Looks like the edges here might be a little bit elevated relative to here. Like right there is worn off. Looks like it's pretty out of focus on the camera. But on the edge here, it's worn off. So I'm not sure if that's the best measure, but 0.003 inches is, or 0.03 inches. I don't know. I don't know that that my woodworking will notice a variance that much. Maybe some of yours would, but maybe I'm not to that level yet. That's good. No, on the same rail from one end. Oh, from the, okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. So, right there, I can figure out how to use the calipers. Just verify. All right, so now I'm getting 0.75. And then just come over here. .75 again. So seems like it's in line. Seems like it's parallel. Or in other words, that this was an instructive, an instructive endeavor. Not the word I was looking for, but whatever. But that it doesn't matter. Could have just gone forward. All right. So now I'll take it all apart, and hopefully my tape will still work, or I might have to redo the tape. And let's see if I can manage to not drop anything as I go. So undo that, undo over here, unlock both sides, remove the fence. I'm getting better at this though, right? Don't you agree? And if you don't agree, then, well, sorry. All right, so remove screw from this side. Move the screw from this side. Probably have the whole thing fall down on me again. Once I get this far enough out. Hey, I caught it this time. I was sure as soon as I said that it was going to fall out of my hands. All right. So extrusion on this side. Try to flatten out the tape. Make sure that I'm lining up the tape on the same side as it was before. Secure the tape on. Cut it off a little bit. Okay. So I'm just going to mark those locations with a punch. All right. And all right. This angle, yeah, all good. Verify. Yeah, I know, all verified. Yeah. Might have been the point, maybe. Hope you keep this video up. Oh, I'll keep it up. Don't you worry. Everyone loves it when I make a fool of myself. So, all right. Through the fence. Did something change? I hope not. If so, I guess we'll find out later when I try to put it all back together. That's the best time to find out that you screwed something up, is when you're trying to put it all back together. All right. So back to the drill press and connect some power. Oh, yeah, I just got this drill press relatively recently. I don't think it even showed up in the shop tour I did a few weeks ago. So let me get some eye protection, and it's not very loud, but I'll put on some hearing protection as well, just in case. And let's see. Let's see if I can. Whoa. Okay, looks like that's as low as he'll go, or as high as he'll go. So part of the reason why I got this thing for cheap is because he's got this little thing here that's supposed to be able to move the table up and down on this guy, but this guy's broken. So this thing moves around instead of the table. So I've been thinking about what the best ways to fix that, and thinking maybe just drill a hole in both this piece and in the pole here. But I'm worried that there's not enough strength in this pole to support a screw or something that goes through. There's not really enough. Like if I put this all the way up, I mean, I could try welding it, I guess, to this guy, but I don't weld, so that would be not good, probably. So I'm going to go get some clamps to hold this guy down so that he doesn't fly around as I get the drill press moving. And since it's aluminum, I probably don't need any oil. So let's see if, okay, I'm not even close to lined up on that. There we go. All right, so before I start cutting, what am I doing wrong now? Okay, verified, might have been the point. Hope to keep you up. Yep. Where the fence, too late. Okay. All right. So, moment of truth. Gonna start drilling. Did I pull on? This worked before. I've got it plugged in, right? I did. Did I plug the other side in? Yes. Why is my, oh, my safety is in there. See, I am brilliant. Mike, you got to admit, I mean, I might be smarter than you, right? I'm going to adjust it just a little bit this way. And you know what? I'm actually going to get a little bit smaller drill bit because this guy wants to drill into the sides. Actually, you know what? They drilled into the sides too, so I'm not going to worry about that. There we go. All right. All right. There's our mark with our shavings. I'm going to empty the shavings in. I don't have vacuum set up over here, so, and I don't really want to get aluminum shavings in my skin. Surprising, I know, but all right, so I'll move on to the next. And fussing with the clamp. Had to let go, so let me make sure I'm still in position before I clamp it down. All right, that looks like it's lined up. And it might be sharp. Yeah, the shards, the shards could be sharp, the aluminum shards. So I don't really want to touch those with especially with my bare hands. Maybe I'll put on some gloves. Why would I do that? Well, I don't really want gloves while the drill press is running though, so. All right, hole number 2 is drilled. You can see that. Now I'll empty the shards into the garbage. And on to number 3. Actually, as I'm doing this, now I'm curious as to how well this matches up with the holes we marked over here. And I would say pretty dang well so far. So I will keep going in spite of everything. All right, here we go. Okay, what it does, maybe run a flat screwdriver over your holes. Yeah, hope it's perfect. Yeah, it looks like it's lining up well. But yeah, I was on the bottom side. there's also some protrusions there, so I think I'll take a file or something to it before I do anything, just to be sure that it's clean. Whoa. Lost the bit there. So apparently I didn't tighten that guy down well enough. You got... Yeah. All right. Hopefully that works. All right. Okay. All right. There's that one. And empty the shards directly into the trash and on to cut number, or hole number 4 rather. It's not really a cut, is it? I'm gonna turn it this way so I can see that better without the tape blocking me. All right. Oh, I think that moved a little as I tightened it down. Yep. And that moved a lot. And test again. That seems to work. All right. And there's that final hole. And I'll go empty the shards. And yeah, and you can see on the back side, like on that one, got some shards sticking out there. That one doesn't look too bad. That one's got a shard. That one looks a little not that clean. So I've got a little deburr thing that I'll use that actually seems to make it just as messed up as not using one. So we'll see. Hey, yeah, I think on my Easter project, showed the crew moving the cameras around and commented that I need to get better staff, but still haven't been able to find anyone better. So no one that would accept the low pay and terrible hours. So, all right. All right. So you said just use a flat screwdriver? Just run a flat screwdriver over it? Is that right, baby kisses? Yeah, that seemed to work pretty well. Yeah, actually the holes that look a little bit more dangerous are the ones that came from the factory. But yeah, so of course I start using my fingers on it. All right, so let me clean up some of the mess here so that I can see what I'm doing. It's so nice to have a place for things so that when I go to put things away, there's actually somewhere for me to put them. All right, so this guy goes this side down without the tape. And find my chair so I can be lazy and find some screws, probably some on the floor, maybe on the workbench, and we'll start anew. All right. Let me put that in a little bit more. Actually, I'll just put him in a little bit like that. And then I need to get this guy onto him. At least over this lip. And I'm going to be lazy and put these guys in before I roll this guy over. Okay, so that guy goes in. That guy goes in. All right, I'm going to put these in a little bit more so I can actually roll him over and expose the fourth screw, but hopefully I'm not tightening those down too much to where I can't get the fourth screw in. Oh, I've got him way too far over, so that it's blocking me over there, not letting me go any further because of the rack and pinion on the opposite side. So oh, wrong direction. Way to go. All right. That there. And then I'm going to scoot this guy over as far as he'll go. Actually, I'm going to go the other direction so that I can get all these on. So if I put him in right there, lock him in where I think he's supposed to be. I need to use the screwdriver. Appreciate everybody that's joined me today, in spite of it being tonight and maybe tomorrow. This is a nice time for me to be in the shop because the kids are in bed and they don't need me. And so, okay, metal drives towards your bone, wood comes out. Yeah, that's good to know. Keep the all right, so that's all the way out. And right, so that is that was matching up. Now it's off a little bit. There we go. So I better get this other side in with the screwdriver. I should use the new hole that I made instead of the factory hole here, so that it goes into the right place. All right. That seems to be working properly. So then I'll slide this over and get the other 2 screws in. Assuming they line up properly. This one's a little tight. And where's my 4th screw? Where did I put the 4th screw? Is it hiding somewhere? Anyone see where it went? Oh, everyone's still there? Cool. Okay, where did I put the last screw? That needs to go in more, but I feel like I should be looking on the ground because that's where everything has gone today. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I remember. It fell in the crack between the slabs of concrete in the garage here. Tried blowing off the dirt and filth from the head of that screw, and nothing came off. So that one's going in pretty smooth. This one feels like it's just off a little bit, so it's going to require a little bit more oomph. That one's going in smooth. That one was easy. Seems like it's doing pretty well, and I don't have any up and down or very little up and down motion there. So that's good. Better than before. Working my, like done. Yeah, pretty close to done. Hey, Raja, good to see you. Hey, Raja, am I pronouncing your name correctly? I always wonder about that. Yeah, thank goodness for everyone making sure that I'm doing this properly, because it could have ended in disaster, and the night is young. It might still end in disaster. You never know. And get that charger cable out of the way. Didn't mean for it to go all the way down. Lock that guy in. Let me find my Allen wrench again. Lock those guys down. And on the opposite side, secure those in. And looks like I'm going to need to re-square the. Oh, okay, my problem is that I just put this in wherever without regard to whether or not it was square. So I'm going to need to re-square the fence to the blade. That's close for the moment. I'm also going to need to switch out the 45-degree plate, take it back up to 90 degrees, and do that. So I don't know if you guys want to stick around for that or not, but I guess I've got time to do it, so might as well stay live for those who want to be here. All right. Not sure what's going to be the best way to demonstrate this, but I'm going to unlock the bevel adjustment down here, and I've got a video about how I fixed the bevel lock for any of you that might have issues with that. And then let me make sure that I'm actually at 90 degrees as best I can on here. You like the sound it makes as I raise and lower it? When I bought it, it actually wouldn't really go up and down. So it sounds a lot better now than it used to. And 0, and there. And I don't know if you guys can see the reading or not, but there it was at 90. I would prefer a table saw that has the bevel adjustment and the height adjustment on separate controls. There we go. So that's locked in at 90 until it moved. So let's see if it also changed there. So that's now showing as 0.2. But my table isn't really that flat, so it's pretty tough to dial it in. But if I say that's 0, and then that's showing as 89.9. That's showing as 90. All right, I'm going to call that good enough. All right. This one's messing around. Okay. Strength for the bevel. Yeah. Never seen a level like that. Never seen a bevel like that, or a level. You wrote level. I'm not. Or did you mean bevel, baby kisses, or are you? Maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're talking about, which seems to have happened a lot on this live. Not necessarily with you, but with everyone else trying to help me figure out what to do here. So, all right. So then I'm going to loosen these guys up. And actually, I'm going to take out the riving knife. So it's not messing with the adjustment here. if I need to have that. And it seems like that should be square to the blade, right? What do you think? Anything else I should be doing on that besides just setting it up against the side of the blade? Seems like everybody else has more involved deals, but seems like everybody likes to square it to the miter gauge, but I have no confidence in these miter gauges being uniform all the way across. So I'm going to ignore the miter gauges for the most part. But I feel like that should be square to the blade at least. And I've seen that some people like to have the back of the fence come out a little bit, not in toward the blade, but come out a little bit, just a fraction of an inch. A small fraction of an inch, not like 7/8 is a fraction of an inch, but just a very small amount. Yeah, I don't have a dial indicator, Robert. I maybe I should get one. But yeah, I've seen people use the miter gauge or use the miter slot with those, just making sure that the blade is square to the miter gauge. Or, I'm sorry, to the miter slot, and then that the fence is square to the miter slot as well. I don't really trust the miter slots that well on this old DeWalt. I got this from an old cabinet shop that was getting rid of their old saws and got new ones. But the square blade and fence to miter slot, yeah. So I did that a while back. Squared the blade to the miter slot. I probably should do it again because it's been a while, but I'm also lazy, and so maybe that's why my cuts don't come out as perfectly as they ought to. But I am going to track down my zero clearance throat plate, and that's the old one, I think. Where's the don't see where. Oh, I think I have it on the. I think I have it on my crosscut sled over here. Yep, there it is. 90. So slide that guy in. Oh, let me put the riving knife back in first. Safety first, everyone. So and then another quirky thing about this saw, I don't know if it's all the DeWalt 7491s or if it's just mine, but when I've got the blade all the way up, see how the throat plate is extended there? Because this little fabric that is used to capture the dust and put it through the dust port, that little segment there's a little piece that connects to it. It pushes up and then pushes up on the throat plate. So if I have it all the way extended, my throat plate is going to be up like that and not level. So I tend not to have the blade all the way at maximum height. I mean, it's very rare that I would ever need it that high anyway, but all right, there we go. And bring this guy over, well, take him back over there. And I was just thinking to do a test cut, but will that wake my wife and daughters? It's only 11:53 p.m. here. They wouldn't mind, would they? No, the bevel. Talking about talking about the riving knife. And square blade and fence. Yeah, we talked about that already. All right. So, just thinking how I want to test that fence for level or for square to the blade. I was just thinking to make a test cut and then check to see if that was level or if that was square. But I'm just thinking of how I would really want to do that. And really, I'm not really using the fence that much anymore because I made this. So I'm not sure if you've gotten a good look at it yet, but so basically it's I think 3/4 MDF on the bottom and on the back, and then I doubled it up, so 1.5 inches on the front. I'm just using a match fit dovetail groove that I cut on the interior face of the fence. Glued it all down to the base, screwed it in after finding square, and then I've got a little stop block here that's also out of 2 pieces of 3/4 inch MDF that I glued together, and then I've just got the match fit attachment that goes through there, so I didn't have to use any T-track or buy any T-track or mess with any T-track. I'm not a big fan of T-track. I don't know if that note if you're able to hone in on that or not. And then I just got some self-adhesive tape here, measuring tape that just marked in 0 right at the right where the blade comes in. And so then I've got the measurements. So I found that I'm using this a lot more than I'm using the table saw with the actual fence. And I pretty much never use the actual fence, again, because of the gouge, right? And so I didn't have this table saw when I built this little holder, but the previous table saw also had a gouge in it that I hadn't noticed. And so this is just a little, pencil and pen holder as I wobble my way over here. And I just put a little magnet on the front for the pencil sharpener. But you can see how off these joints are. And, I just did, some rabbited edges, and, they're just all wonky everywhere. What I realized after cutting these and trying to put it all together was that I had the gouge in the side there. And I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe that would be good to correct. And so that's what led me to making the auxiliary fence that I talked about earlier. So that's what I use now. And then I just got these Milescraft clamps, fence clamps, and just use those to lock it in. On the top, I had to drill down, and then it's pretty messy because I'm not very good, but I drilled in and then chiseled out back here so that the clamps had, a little bit more area to go down, because this fence is taller than the original fence. And so I wanted the fence clamps to be able to lock in nice and tight on the original fence. So, and I talk more in depth about that on the video about the auxiliary fence, if there's anyone out there that's really that excited about them. So And just tighten that guy back down and raise this guy up a hair. And again, like I said before, I just like to have the fence elevated a tiny bit above the actual table so that if there's any sawdust or anything that it doesn't, screw up the cuts. So anyway, that's how I usually have it anyway, is just using the table saw sled on there. So thanks so much for joining me for the replacement of the old back rail on the DeWalt 7491 to the installation of the new back rail. It looks so pretty. And yeah, any other questions, concerns, jokes? And let's see. Husband's tapping your foot. Oh, lucky husband, it sounds like. And I'll rewatch at the end. Okay. Yeah, good night, baby kisses. I think I'm almost done anyway, if you're still around. And Robert, good to see you sticking around as well. I don't know if we've got anyone else still on, but everyone that joined, whether for all the way through or just for part of it, appreciate it. Hope you got something out of it, whether learning about the DeWalt table saw, about table saws in general, about how much I need to learn about table saws, or whatever else. Hopefully you got a few laughs along the way too, whether at my expense or not. All right, I think that's probably it for me. So I will call it good. Shut this down and see you next time. Oh, make sure you like, subscribe, all the stuff. I see you, Robert. You just made a comment. Still haven't made a sled. Yeah, I didn't make a sled for a long time, and actually, let me show you my old sled. Since I'm still here and haven't shut down yet, I made this guy out of some scrap plywood that I got from an old shipping container. Well, mostly from an old piece of plywood that I got from an old shipping container. And so you can see it's much more kind of Frankenstein, and it's less uniform than the MDF one. That's pretty much all from the same sheet of MDF. So this one has a lot of the same features, just doesn't look as good, right? So again, started with the plywood. I doubled up on the plywood here. I tried doubling up on the plywood as the fence as well, but I ended up switching to some 1-inch MDF that I also doubled up, that I had used for a different project, and that didn't work. That ended up breaking it, and so then I just repurposed it for this, and then just use some plywood here to protect for the blade coming through. Got the same kind of match fit system for the stop block, except I'm just using probably pine for that stop block instead of the MDF, which I trust a little bit more. Yeah, what I found is that I just didn't do this one very well, and the runners had a little bit too much give in them, and so the blade made a much wider kerf in this than what it's supposed to, and so it wasn't as reliable to know where exactly the blade was going to be coming through. And so that, along with a few other things, one is I made this sled equidistant from the blade, but what I found is that I'd much prefer having a lot more space on one side of the blade than on the other, because that way on this one, this measures to just under 12 inches, so 11 and whatever, whereas on this one I've got over 16 inches of length, so I can measure a lot more on here, support a lot more on here, you know, with the stop block and everything than I can on this one. And I feel much more secure about this being truly flat with the manufactured MDF surface rather than the plywood that I repurposed from a shipping container. Who knows, you know, where it had been and how flat that truly was. But anyway, so a few different ideas on making sleds. You know, what I've learned from my process. And hopefully that helps you, Robert, if you're still watching. All right. Any other comments, concerns, or jokes before we go? If not, then I'll just remind you again: like, subscribe. If you're watching this after the fact, you know, we'd love to hear some comments, and I can respond to those as I see them over time. And hopefully this helps someone out there. It helped me at least, so that's good. All right, everybody, have a great night.